And we're here! Yay!
Oh,
hello everyone.
Lovely to see you. We are the Dice Stormers. You have made the excellent choice of watching this video. We are playing a Dungeons & Dragons campaign of our own construction that we are all DMing together. So it is my first turn DMing The Fading. So I'm very nervous because the quality has been extremely high up until this point. So I'm very, very on tenterhooks to see if the guys like my stuff. So let's.
I'm very much looking forward to it, Derek. You're a lovely DM and a wonderful guy and a great storyteller, so it's going to be fantastic.
But I feel like Simon...
not to put any more pressure on you or any more expectations.
I'm going to fail horribly now.
Consider us a panel. We'll judge. It'll be good.
That's right.
Cool. All right. But we should recap a little bit what happened last week, which was we got sent into a pass to clear out a big bad guy by the members of the town, and we met up with some hobgoblins. Were they?
Yes, goblins and hobgoblins. Yes.
Yes.
The people that on our side were the goblins. And,
yes, that's right.
And we were up against a kobold. And who was the big bad guy? What race was he? Was it?
He was the man.
Giant, I think. Yeah,
he was
the big man. The big man was what he was officially. And he had kobold underlings, some of whom flew and cast magic spells at you.
That's right. They were a bit dangerous.
Yeah, not any magic spell. The real good ones.
Yeah. All right, so we dealt with them. We've cleared the path. And now we are able to venture forth to go continue our journey south to one of the cities that we are heading towards, because we want to find out who we are, and you know why we appear to be falling out of the sky, and why we appear to be gods, and maybe we're deluding ourselves into thinking we're gods, and maybe we're not, and. So, yes, this is the next step in that journey. So, we might get everybody to quickly tell us your characters. Ben, do you want to start with the Ostra?
Yes, my character is Ostra. She actually was the first one to believe she was a god when they actually found her, and she was 100% convinced she was a glorious god who deserved everyone to bow down and to worship her, to carry her, to give her the shoes and all that sort of stuff. She quickly realized that she definitely wasn't a god, and when she was humiliated and wasn't able to display any of her powers. So now she's sort of doubly confused when it appears maybe she is maybe a god. She appears as a kind of 15-year-old girl. She's a bit sort of obstreperous. She's unfamiliar with being so subject to normal effects of nature, like food poisoning and frostbite on her toesies. And she's kind of, her god, if she is really Ostra, was kind of a righteous slayer of the unworthy, with a church that had become somewhat corrupt and was loving power and wealth. And Ostra is a bit disgusted by the manifestation of her church on Earth, and is turning away from that and going down more of a path of friendship and nature and love. And thus the levels, technically she has her in Ranger, which is very different from what her other previous manifestation was.
Interesting. So she may end up being a different god of a different domain if she...
Yes.
If we ever get back to being...
That's right.
What we were, which there's no guarantee of.
Or if we are.
That's right. Yeah.
And we're not just like...
If we are.
Like, would that be the best ending? You know what? You were just all had psychopathic tendencies.
That's right.
The best ending is always, and then they woke up and it was all a dream.
Oh, wow.
That's right.
My primary school teachers always told me to write stories like that. Definitely.
40 years later, I am.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm playing Lorcal, and Lorcal is a barbarian. He is also a furbolg, which means he's quite large.
A big friendly giant.
Being large and a barbarian will give you completely the wrong idea of who Lorcal is. Because Lorcal is incredibly peace-loving and gentle, unless his friends are in danger, at which point he turns into a beast.
Yes. The claws come out.
Quite literally. Or the tail. Or the tail.
So cool.
The broken tail.
He's becoming more and more in touch with his kind of god like persona from before. And so he's kind of getting more in touch with nature and understanding animals and plants and things like that, which he thinks is probably what he was a kind of god of before.
Yeah.
But he's still trying to work that out.
So cool.
It's either that or metagaming.
God of metagaming.
I am the god of metagaming. Have you seen my tail? It does everything.
It's the Swiss Army tail.
Oh, yes. The Swiss Army will get much use of this tail. Hello. My character's name is Faradus. He is drunk most of the time, but is enthusiastic about the party and having a bit of fun. He finally, after 7 books, got a shield and armor.
Yes.
So now he is bound to move forward, and he just got a feat. So he can use his shield for punching people in the face, which is somewhat of a tactic. But yes, he's very excited.
Yeah.
And he has a beard, and he has armor. And pretty much that's my character's development at the moment.
That's
He's very cool.
Nice.
And he likes...
Yeah, very nice. All right. So you have ventured south from the town that has graciously given you the reward for clearing the path, and
the potato feast.
And the XP.
And the XP.
Yes.
As we have gone up a level, so we are level 4.
Woohoo!
We won't spoil what sort of feats we've taken or how we've improved our characters. We'll do that over the course of the session. So yeah, and you head off on your first day, and after a day's worth of traveling, you come across a valley. Nathan, if you could show us the valley that stretches before the characters as they start out.
Do you mean this valley?
Yes.
Wow.
There.
You know that?
That's pretty.
I had a dramatic pause to really emphasize the width.
Do you recognize the valley, Ben?
I see. In real life,
Your
that's
house.
the Kangaroo Valley.
It's the Kangaroo Valley. So
Wow,
yes.
that's really full of mist. That's up on the top section where we are as well. Normally it's just down below. That's amazing.
Yeah,
I
they
have a
missed
house
it.
in the Kangaroo Valley. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So peaceful.
So you start to wind your way down into the valley. The sides of it are quite steep and very difficult to pass, and you manage to get down into the center of the middle at the bottom where there is a river and a lodge. And I will bring up the lodge. Showing now.
Yeah.
This place looks very homely.
Very homely looking place, and it's very much like it is in that picture. It's about dusk, and you can hear from around the back of the lodge someone chopping wood. Thunk, thunk.
Are we weary from the road and like we've been traveling?
Yeah, you've been traveling all day.
Does it look like a place of as in a lodge, as in a hotel sort of place you could stay?
I don't know if
Or someone's house.
it looks like someone's house, but it's quite large. Maybe not quite large. It would, a family could very comfortably live there.
In 2020, it's a mansion.
Nice. It looks like the sort of place one could have a warm bath and rest one's feet by the fire. There's someone chopping wood, I think. That means warmth and comfort, and I'm kind of hungry.
Did all that time riding the pony hurt your feet? I'm sorry, dear. Maybe it was a time in the set.
Has she been? Yeah, I suppose she's probably been walking at least some of the way. Yeah.
Are we
fancy
hearing
new
any
shoes.
chopping of wood sounds?
No, not yet.
I'm trying to play them through Soundscape, but
Ooh.
hang on.
I have no
Lack of
fear.
Water.
I'm going to be walking forward. Come on, let's say hello to this man. We bring gifts
It
of
looks friendly.
potatoes. So last time, the reward we got from the last place was a potato feast, because that's what he offered the people. And as part of a mighty bargain, this is something that we made Ben Doobie through absolute peer pressure, and would not leave him alone until it happened. So we have many potatoes to be able to trade with. So I bring forth a feast of potatoes.
In our cart, we have like a couple of sacks, do we, of potatoes?
Yes, and you.
Cool. Well, maybe that's why I've been walking. The
cart is full.
potatoes were heavy
cart-
for our mule.
So
Yes.
Maybe it got bogged. Maybe it got bogged on the way down the mountain because the mountain is steep and slippery, and the road is subject to collapse, as is the road into Kangaroo Valley right now. The northern road has collapsed and will probably be closed till Christmas.
Wow.
As they repair a massive landslide. So maybe there's been some landslides going into the valley, and I've been out walking to lighten the load and help us to control. And maybe Lorkel's been carrying one of the bags of the potatoes, or both of them, in order,
Or the
it's
cart,
easy this way.
or the
That's
mule,
right.
or
That's right.
and
Okay, so yes,
lift the mule over the more treacherous sections
Yeah.
of road.
That's right.
Perhaps we could exchange some of these potatoes for a warm bed and a spot by the fire, and they could be roasted. I reckon they look good for roasting.
Maybe
very
you
good
will
for roast.
find a friend here. It looks like a friendly house.
It does,
Yeah.
warm, glowing light. Yes, let's approach him.
if nothing else,
so
it'll be
we
a bit
go
of
around
fun.
the back-ish a little bit.
You go around the back, and
Really?
yes, the sound of chopping wood comes comes louder, and you go around the back, and you are greeted by the sight of. Actually, there's a bit of a glow coming from the area where the chopping is occurring, and as you come around the corner, the glow reveals itself to be a spiritual weapon of a sword. And
wow.
it's being orchestrated by a very beautiful sun elf, a woman with a female elf with golden skin, and she's casting
That's
this
cool.
spell and chopping the wood with this beautiful magical celestial blade.
That is so cool.
Can I bite into a raw potato, as I've been doing the entire trip?
You can, if that's your jam. Yes.
Well, it's not jam, it's a potato. And
right.
dwarves have the toxic ability, so I can't. It's very hard. I have a more hardy stomach than others here,
Yeah.
especially some particular others.
Yes.
And
that's
so
right.
I've been definitely crunching down on these potatoes on the way. And I bite into. That's a fancy trick you got there.
She looks up at you, and I guess kind of the sword swings around towards you, faces you a little bit, and just hovers there.
And a fancy sword. I look at it.
Peace. We mean you no harm.
Oh, of course we
are
do.
but travelers on the road, entering this valley for the first time, looking for hospitality.
At this point, a man walks out, and he appears to be a human. He has a dark skin, a warm smile. His wife is still kind of a bit stony-faced, and he says, "Welcome, friends. My name
Hello.
is Amir.
I'm Tharanos.
You're travelers."
Yeah.
I'm Ostra, and this is our friend carrying the potatoes is local.
The potatoes, the mule, the whole carriage. Yep. He's a good one.
Very, very well. My wife,
Eric.
Lauren.
Derek, I speak Elvish. When I say
Oh.
greetings, friends, I say that in Elvish, not in
Nice.
Yeah.
How do you say friend in Elvish?
I don't know, Ben. I know how to say friend in Elvish. Do you know how to say friend in Elvish?
Yes, I do.
No,
I do.
because on my character sheet it says Elvish. You have Elvish?
It does. Ostra does not know how to say friend in Elvish. She knows how to say it in Celestial. So he says friend in Elvish, which is lovely.
When you do that, the two exchange a glance, and Lauren nods, and he turns towards
Lauren?
you and raises his hand like this, He's obvious. Well, does anybody want to roll a
Can I roll a reaction?
Arcana
Yes.
check?
Yes, I roll Arcana.
Oh.
18.
18. He's casting a spell that looks like to be a divination spell.
I got 19.
Okay. Okay, this doesn't seem to be too aggressive.
Yeah. So
I'm toying up whether to put their name in allies or enemies, so I'm going to go for allies at the moment. I can always copy and paste. So he's Laurel. Laurel.
she's Laurel, and he is
She's Laurel.
Okay.
and he is Emir.
Emir.
The Ostra's bad with name and people. And just peasants and just
It's never
generally.
that's right. Yes.
So
So divination. Okay, good.
he completes his spell, and there is like a quite bright flash as all of you, the three of you, illuminate in a blue light. And he says, "Well, Celestials are you? I wasn't expecting that. You do not look much like Celestials, but maybe you have some good stories to tell, yes?
And some potatoes.
Inside. Ahoy.
Yes, roast good potatoes, good for roasting, and interesting tales indeed. If you would have us, we would be happy to exchange them for your hospitality of your warm-looking house.
The fire is warm, and the night is cold. Please, inside."
Full of heart.
So Lauren still doesn't sort of say anything, but picks up a potato on her way through and sort of rotates it in.
Can
her hand.
I, in the form of friendship, and is what Paris would do, is go ha ha and slap and like friendship hit her on the back as we walk in together.
The Lauren?
Yes. We all kind of combine together and we're like, ha ha,
Excellent.
friend.
Yes, and you do that. She does sort of bend down and pick up something from the ground. Just as you do that, and your hand kind of swings free.
Nice.
And
Oh, I like this one. Bit of fun.
That's cool.
so you go inside the house.
Yeah. And look,
Yes.
I'm looking carefully around to see if there's like death traps or no. I suppose I'm not suspicious. Would she be suspicious?
Can I be
No,
honest?
I mean-
This is a bit of civilization. I think no matter what, you have rose-eyed glasses, like goggles on, like everything is
Yeah,
perfect
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
civilized society and warm fires and not the campfire again.
Very
Sick
nice.
of the road. Yep. Okay, that sounds good.
Yes, it is a roof over your heads, which is more than you've had for a day or two, and the fire is warm and it's crackling away. I should change to an indoor house, shouldn't I?
So while you're doing that,
Oh.
I'm going to go along and start getting my cooking sticks and start, because I don't know if you know this, but I'm very good at feasts and parties and all that kind of stuff. So man, I can whip
Excellent.
together something wicked with just a very little thing. I'm even pulling my shield out and using that as like an iron to actually warm up and get the really crusty outsides of the potatoes and everything like that. You're in for a treat.
So is there's a fire already burning?
Yes.
She's been cutting more wood. Did anyone
That's
bring any
correct.
more wood in? Or there's enough wood in it already anyway, I suppose.
There's enough wood in. Yes.
Okay.
That would have been good.
Oh man, all of these houses are like death
That was
house
fit-
and. Any suggestion on a house?
Yeah,
A fire?
the bar one. What's the bar one, Ben? Bar one, Friendly Tavern. Friendly Tavern would be perfect for this moment.
Friendly tavern.
Oh
on
yes.
Sirenscape?
Friendly tavern, you can go close to the
Sirenscape,
fire.
sorry, I thought you were searching for images. Yes. Except there's a lot of chatter of people, but Friendly Tavern has some nice music and
But
you
Benjamin,
could, yeah. I see it
could-
by
the good thing
fire.
about
You can
Sirenscape
turn
is that you can
people off.
remove
You
the
could-
people from
you
it to be
can.
able to create an atmosphere that is
You
exactly
can.
like your game, correct?
It's amazing. You can
That's
start with
Flexible
Friendly
piece of
Tavern
software.
and then customize it so it's just right for your game.
A quiet corner near the fire.
Yes,
That's the
and
one.
Just turn off any groups of chatting.
We don't want
Doesn't
people.
sound like just a few people chatting.
Ah.
And if you want to start the music softly, start those music tracks and then turn them down a bit.
Well, we don't really have any musicians, but yes.
Or is it? Or
We'll
is there?
imagine
Music,
that.
your music,
Is there a small instrument in the side
cool.
playing on its
Diegetic
magic?
music.
Yeah.
Like the
Oh,
sword?
yes.
That's great. So this very sort of beautiful open plan living area with a number of sort of couches. You're noticing perhaps a distinct lack of, I guess, the sorts of things that you would expect to find in a hunting lodge, like bear skins and things on the wall of decapitated animals and things like that. There's nothing like that, and in fact, everything, all of the couches and everything seems to be of cloth variety rather than manufactured out of animals. And Lauren appears to busy herself in the kitchen, which is just off to one side. And Amir comes in and sort of motions for you to sit yourself down and kick off your shoes and dry your clothes by the fire.
Can I join her in the kitchen? Just, I don't need to be part of this conversation, but just because that's where I feel I would actually go.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
wander off into there. Absolutely.
And there's going to be a lot of noise.
And Amir says, so what brings you to the Valley of the Mists?
I don't know what brings. Where are we going?
You're heading south to
Yeah.
one of the cities that you've seen in a
Yes.
number of visions.
The cities and the
We're-
visions. That's right.
We're walking a pathway to find out the truth of our existence, I suppose. I guess you could say something like that.
We are traveling to find ourselves. You called us Celestials before, and we have seen hints of this, but I'm afraid there's great mystery around all of us, and we travel to seek answers to those mysteries.
Interesting. There is no greater cause than finding oneself. I think my search ends here in this place. This is I have companionship and beautiful nature here, and I think this is where I plan to live the rest of my days. I traveled this land quite widely and built a skill and a knowledge, and I think the gods have deposited me here.
Seems like a very good place to be. It's lovely. If I was at peace as to who I am and why I am, then I would stay here too.
You do not believe you're at peace?
Giggle from the kitchen.
I do not find peace in what I find my name has been associated with. No.
To not be in control of your own name seems very disconcerting. Well,
Yes. My name has been used to take advantage of the poor and to gather wealth to itself.
And us too.
I have. Is that true for you as well, Lorkel?
I do not yet know who I am or what I am doing here. I am still searching, but I too have found companions, and I think I am at peace. I just want to know more.
Emir gestures to the outside and he says, well, the valley is older than all the elves. And I hope tomorrow when you go through it, it brings you answers of a sort.
That will be good, I think.
But now, perhaps wine? Beer?
Derek, at this moment, there'll be a crash, not a breaking anything. It's not a breaking, it's just an enthusiastic placement or push down of something. That's all.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
Maybe a sigh from the
wine.
So we haven't actually had wine yet in this world or in our
When Sirenscape is more enthusiastic than planned.
That's fantastic. Wow, that's some cooking you got going there, Paradis.
Oh, to be good.
Spectacular, over the top. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, so we haven't had wine, but like the mention of wine has like suddenly rung, like celestial memories for Ostra.
Right.
When people say tequila.
I have been trading some wine with the local kobolds that live in the mountains around here. I bring them to you.
What? I heard
How do
wine.
we feel about
Wine.
kobolds?
Yes, Ferret. Yes, Ferret. I shall bring you some wine as well. This vintage is a particular favorite of my wife as well. We shall all drink wine.
Yes.
And, goblets.
Did you say the local kobolds brewed wine?
Yes, it is surprisingly good.
I would like
Then he-
to taste this wine.
Anything like their
We
spells,
met
it should be good.
kobolds quite recently, in fact. But they were not particularly friendly towards us.
This is perhaps a common misconception. They can be very territorial, so if you stray into their territory, they will respond in kind. But I leave them alone. They leave me alone. They sell me the wine.
I literally just look at my arm and it's just like singe marks of like I've lost most of the hair on one side of my body because they freaking like choo 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 like superhero lasered me from like 20 kilometers away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
that was
right.
rough.
And then
Yeah.
this guy.
Yeah. Look, I don't want to say bad memories, but yeah. Bad memory. So
So
I yell
you
out,
have-
How does the wine taste?
Yeah.
it good?
Does he uncork it and
Yeah. He decants it and lets it breathe, and it's a dark red. It's a very earthy, musty smell to it, and it tastes wonderfully rich of the mountains of. Oh, do we put this? Did I put that up?
oh yes, it's very appropriate. We're at a wine tasting now.
Good timing.
Derek?
Good timing.
it's lovely.
Fair
Brought
enough.
out the wine and the music started.
That's
That's right.
He conjures a small spell in the air and music starts playing.
That's
and,
so cool.
And a gnome appears.
There's, it's a lovely drop. It's very different to what you were expecting. It seems quite refined.
That's cool.
So Ben,
I'm not
how
going to even
drunk do
think
you
about
get?
what they. I'm not even going to think about what they start the fermentation with because there's some strange things that happen to wine. How drunk does Ostra is in the body of a 15-year-old girl?
Yeah. Small.
So she's not
Petite.
exactly. Yeah. Do you want me to do a constitution check?
Not just yet. We
good.
might flick to Faradis in the kitchen because they are cooking up a storm. One thing that you do notice, Faradis, like the rest of the rest of the house, there is no meat on display. It's all vegetarian fare.
Oh,
Good
yes.
thing we brought potatoes.
But she does sort of she doesn't speak, but she indicates pot or oven as to your preference of potato.
Well, I'm just going to point this out here. The dwarves are very known for eating many different vegetables, different stuff like that. Root vegetables and also mushrooms are a very large part of a dwarven diet. So that's how I've managed to get such a toxic ability because I've been eating poisonous mushrooms my entire life. But on that note, both. Of course, both. Start with one, then the other. Because dwarven
Very good.
cooking
She-
uses every pan.
Yes.
Her smile is brief and fleeting, but she bleating, but she she does charm you with it, and
dwarves are confusing.
Both said about making a fantastic feast of potatoes and carrots and onions, other vegetables roasted, and
I have a little bit of because I have a brewer's kit. So I'm going to incorporate some beer elements because of the hops and everything like that. I'm definitely like, yes, it's going to be a very special meal. And as the master of feasts, as I was more commonly known between friends, which I just feel like I, carry the weight here, I'm going to cook something fantastic to match the occasion and match that wine. Be a feast for the ages.
Oh. Can you give me a cooking check?
I can only give you a cooking check. I can give you whatever check that you require.
What is cooking? Do you roll a
I'm going to say performance, because let's be honest, a dwarven cooking is not so much it is not a solo experience. Everybody becomes a part of it.
Right.
Or right. I'm guessing that's what it is. I don't know. I actually don't know what it would be, but I can do. Ooh, exclusion zone.
No, that's not the one.
What happened there?
Fantastic, Derek.
And Ben's face is frozen.
Ben is frozen.
Yeah, I'm fixing my camera.
Ben's fixing his camera.
Performance.
Keep going. You can still hear me, can't you?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a 23. That's a rolled 19 plus 4 is a 23. Bet. Mwah.
So
I do the little salt thing.
Yeah. No, she is not only impressed with the kind of the pairing of the food with the wine, but she's also impressed with the taste, and she also. She's going to give you something. She hands you a satchel, Faradis. And in it is just about every type of spice that you could imagine.
Ooh. Is that a cooking satchel?
Boom, Ben.
Is that a cooking supply satchel? That's what I've been looking for. Oh, this amazing! You know why? Coriander. That's what this. It needed coriander.
Yes.
We got coriander. We got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Palate is filled. All right. Oh, I'm excited.
So cooking. Things
and how much XP do I get for this dinner?
Are now at it should be +2 rather than advantage, shouldn't it? I think it should be +2. So
done. I am putting that down.
About +2.
Yeah. Advantage is about +2. All right. Cooking with advantage. I love it.
That'd be a good name for a D&D cookbook.
Yes.
Cooking with advantage. That's actually pretty fucking.
All right. A bag's it. What did you say before? What do you say when you
claim it? You claim it.
I claim it.
I claim it. Okay, cool. Claim it.
I walk into my truth.
Nice.
I claim it first. None of you get it.
So, is there any other topics of conversation that you would like to raise with Amir or Lauren?
Can I? You said we were Celestials. Why? Why are you on the lookout for them? Or was it a stunning personality?
Perfectly. My spell was to determine whether you were of good or evil intent, but it also tells me if you are a celestial or a fiend or other. I was not expecting that additional information from what appears to be people of fairly mundane backgrounds.
I know.
Ostra takes offense at that,
and I look at the Ostra at that exact moment as well.
If anything, Lorcal's proud to have been
mistaken for the mundane.
Can
I just say,
doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, you're not one that really falls into the mundane. You often stand out. For small reasons.
Yep.
Lovely.
10-foot tall.
Tell us more about the valley and the kobolds and the elves and such.
Look, the mists often come in, and this is why it's called the Valley of the Mists. Unusual for it to be a sunny day down here all day. I have placed my lodge at the very top of the valley, and as it stretches out towards the ocean, the mists get deeper and colder. So I would imagine that I would recommend that you keep your bearings, and you should have no trouble finding your way through. Obviously, the sides of the mountain will guide you. Probably about halfway down, you will come across a river, and that will be able to guide you towards the end of the valley and set you on your way towards the city.
May I ask you a question? You said you journeyed a very long time before finding this valley. What kind of journeying did you do? And if I may be so bold, you seem educated in the ways of Celestials and others. What exactly is your history with Celestials?
Like all young men, I remember taking myself and believing myself to be an adventurer and a collector of treasure and daring do. I fancied myself something of a swashbuckler and a swordsman, but there was a very fateful meeting that I had with a wizard, and he gave me some perception of my life that I was not expecting. He had survived an attack at an early age by a crystalline being, and it was only through exhausting his magics that he was able to defend himself and finally defeat this creature. And he carried with him a piece of it. And it was a game to him, this piece. He would use it to shine the light of the sun into dark areas. And he would go from town to town and collect knowledge and invite people to tell their stories and assemble great large hordes of their knowledge and their stories. And he felt like when each one of them told him these stories and he collected this information, it was shining the light into future dark places. And when I came across him, I was in a dark place myself. And I was very gratified that he was able to tell me his story. And also, he gave me, and he pulls into his pocket, a small leather satchel. And he opens the satchel and he says, the crystalline piece that he used to shine the light into dark places.
Interesting.
Now it is my turn.
Wow. Cool.
Hang on. Now it is my turn? Oh, to take the crystal. I thought that was like his story time. Pretty good story.
That's cool. So do we recognize what it is, or is it like, is it like a chunk of...
Can we roll arcane?
Give
or
me
religion? Religious type?
If you go to Undermountain Forest and start some of the music in there, that would be really cool. In fact, you can sort by music and type in Undermountain. What's it called? It's not called Undermountain.
How convenient, Benjamin.
Under Dark Forest? Under Mountain Forest. Yeah, start one of those music tracks. That'd be very atmospheric at this point, I reckon. Undermountain. Okay. Arcana. I only have a -1 in Arcana. That's because she's minus.
I rolled a 19.
You did.
So I got
a
19.
15. Yes, I rolled a 16, so I got 15.
Sorry, it's
Derek,
taking me a while
I will
to
not
load.
roll any more this game. I've rolled 219.
That's right.
It's the best game I've ever played.
Yes, you do recognize this is probably something from a crystal construct, maybe a what are they called? Golem, a crystalline golem.
The crystalline entity. Star Trek, next gen.
Interesting.
That's the music I was imagining. I was thinking
Yeah.
just the
How-
music. You don't need all the rest of the noises.
How rare is a magical knife? Like a magical sword that cuts stuff for you. That's like a really high level. Like a very, very
I think it was a spiritual weapon spell.
Yeah,
Was it? It was non-corporeal sword, wasn't it? It was just.
yeah. Is that what a spiritual weapon looks like?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It.
I think it's like not a high level spell. Yeah, second level. So she has some kind of power, but not massively so.
Well, my friends, the feast is here. Let us enjoy.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
A
yeah.
massive array of boiled, baked, and fried goods, and again, no meat, but you fill yourselves
No need.
up and drink the wine, which pairs beautifully with the meal.
Nice. Yeah, Ostra stretches. Mainly her toes are poking up to the fire a lot of the time.
I look at her and I'm like,
toes.
I'm going to make you fat, young one.
She laughs.
For the first time, the Laurel woman laughs, and it's the first time you've sort of heard her make a noise, and it sounds like the tinkling of wind chimes. And Amir says, "I will be back momentarily with bedding," and he disappears.
Oh, no need for me. Good bit of ground, I'm fine. This one here, but 3 mattresses should be just enough.
Fantastic. So it's like a big sort of common room, yeah, like a lounge room with a fireplace.
Yeah, and the kitchen off to one side in sort of an open plan. It's not really a door, and there's a kind of a loft area, and it appears to be an area out the back where you can maybe it's storage or something like that.
Can I roll perception with disadvantage just to see if everything seems safe and whether they seem straight up, or insight?
Yeah, that's a good insight is a good one.
And so with the disadvantage, because I'm feeling disarmed and slightly drunk.
Tipsy, sure.
Yeah. 2 and 5. So
Okay, everything is perfect. It's all.
You're
I'm
not
100%
tipsy,
trusting.
you're enthusiastic. I want to go over here.
And I've got.
So
As
Amir
you know-
comes back with. Go ahead, Faradis.
I was going to say, when he was gone, Faris is very much into like the fact that he knew they were Celestials and he felt on par to engage with Celestials. It was a bit of a weird thing to him. So he's looking for runes or any kind of like any person who is that knowledgeable or comfortable I'm trying to see if there's any runes or anything within the house that would like traditional, you would usually put markings of safety and all that kind of stuff to kind of protect their house from different stuff. I'm looking around to kind of see where his allegiances are, even if they were and also the fact that he said he had a change of allegiance, and I'm looking for maybe there was previous ones that have been changed to something new to kind of like not answer his story, but just more along the lines of that's something I would find interesting.
Yeah, definitely. You walk around the house. You do find a couple of bookshelves in this area that do sort of seem to contain a lot of a lot of handwritten books, and there is, I guess, what you would call motifs of animals around the place. They're just carved into the chair head or the knot of the table or things like that. They're sort of it's all a very sort of connecting it with the outside world.
Are
Owls,
they random,
bears,
or are they? Do they fall within maybe one of the gods' realm? You know, like you've got like you'll have different gods who have different heads or animals that represent. Not
if I was to sort of classify it, it looks like they're celebrating. It's just celebrating nature
Yeah,
and
so
celebrating.
motifs, okay, go on.
Yeah,
interesting.
That
so
seems
it's
straight up.
Local,
not a specific god that it's targeting. Yeah,
local is pretty trusting. And
You also have an
very
axe
much
inside the
enjoying
house.
the feasting. And he
What
reaches
was
across the table to get a, I don't know what we're up to, 7th helping of potatoes.
yeah.
And as he does, he kind of clumsily knocks a candle, and the candle goes out, and almost absent-mindedly, and he's quite relaxed and in the zone, and he just sort of whispers something under his breath in a kind of Urbolg language that none of the others have ever heard him speak in before, and the candle just
That's so cool.
spontaneously
Interesting.
What's
command.
what's Burbog language sound like? If you were to put it in words.
Sort of,
Rumba dumba.
Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Treants, maybe.
yeah, I think
Rumba lumba lum.
Oh, nice.
Nice, that was good. That was solid. That was a solid effort. Felt that one.
Ostra notices and like goes wide-eyed and looks at him and thinks, "I haven't seen you do anything like that before." But she just thinks that to herself. Maybe she hasn't been paying attention. She has been quite self-involved.
Is that a level 4 ability?
well, no, that's a cantrip that I haven't previously had.
Aha,
Called
nice.
Druidcraft.
Level dip.
Druidcraft. Okay. Do you want to expand on it a little bit more, or leave
well,
that for?
I feel like it's something that Lorkel, until this moment, didn't remember that he knew how to do since he was a god. And
Yeah.
it's like in being in this space and this kind of celebration of nature, he's kind of gotten in touch with this druidness that he never knew he was until this moment.
Mm.
Like it just
Excellent.
sort of instinctively did it without thinking about it in this
That's
moment
super
of
cool.
clumsiness.
I like that you use Murray would be so proud. It's just like I used base and made fire. Like
Is this in front of the other two? Do they?
Well, he
do they
was
see
he was
this?
off getting bedding,
Yeah.
but she must be there.
She's there at the table.
So
I
she
think.
saw it. Yeah. All right.
Does she react, or is it? I mean, it's a cantrip. It's not.
And you are a
particularly
celestial.
magical.
Yeah.
It's not mouse
So
food.
she she turns to you and for the first time speaks, and she says in Elvish, "I've not met many furbolgs."
Neither have I, come to think of it.
I knew we had something in common. At this point, Amir comes back in with the bedding. Did you want to say? Did you want to continue?
Sure.
What is it that brings you to this place? I have not seen many elves on our journey thus far.
Amir and I are on a mission to catalogue this part of the world and create a little bit of history. And the valley is older than anything that I've ever encountered, and I'm sure its mysteries yet to be discovered.
Is the valley magical in some way?
I don't think so. But certainly, I have not charted its full extent.
I imagine the mist would make that challenging.
Oh, yes. But maybe that's part of its mystery. It's been very nice.
Ostra looks like she's going to say something profound. And she just says,
Do you have any pajamas?
Wow.
Yes,
Gee.
little one. I shall bring you some pajamas.
Love it.
she's just like, oh, I feel so...
Is the Ostra human?
Yes.
15-year-old human. All right. Yeah, they come and bring you some clothes that are a touch too big, but they're warm and they're soft, as is the bedding that he arranges in array about the fire.
3 seconds later.
And it is not longer.
Yeah, she's just all into that bedding and falls instantly asleep.
All right. You bed down for the night. And
She literally doesn't care if she gets murdered in the night. Like that's fine. If that's
Yeah.
the end of things, she's found pajamas
a good
and a
way
bed.
to die. In
It was-
pajamas.
Good. That's right.
It was her night to go and watch, but like,
but
That's right. Watch. Yeah, that's right.
watch this.
you fall asleep. And in the morning, we will find out what happens after a break.
Ooh. That was really cool. All right, let's go to the
All right.
break
Yeah,
time
Thank you
now.
so much.
See you guys in a bit.
See you soon.
Bye.